What is up, children of mothers? The Oscars happened, and it was pretty good. Well, pretty good as in, if you ignore all the fundamental problems with the Academy, it was a good ceremony. As dumb as the whole process of an awards campaign is, how most of the good movies that come out in a year are ignored, and how it's effectively a lot of rich people celebrating other rich people. Yeah, I mean, come on, this ceremony was a lot of fun. Yet again, Conan O'Brien does a great job as host. He did it a lot better than Jimmy Kimmel, who I personally find kind of annoying. There were lots of good bits, although not quite as much stood out to me as much as last year. I still regularly say Chalamet a year later, so that speaks to how memorable that was. That isn't to say this year didn't have some funny parts. I really enjoyed the opening skit where Conan O'Brien was Aunt Gladys from Weapons, running from scene to scene in different movies from this year. It was a nice way to tie all the movies together, and it was pretty funny. I also liked when Conan made fun of Timmy for the thing he said about ballet and opera, and when they called back to Adrian Brody's absurdly long speech from last year. Self-aware jokes like that really help prevent the ceremony from feeling inauthentic, so I'm glad they did that. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. presenting a category was also kind of nice. Other than that, I was mostly just lightly chuckling at the bits rather than cringing at them, which is great. Once again, Conan did a great job of hosting. I don't know why they decided to kill him off at the end, but oh well. There were a few technical difficulties and whatnot that were a bit awkward. Near the beginning, it looked like whoever was operating a crowd camera just fell over or something, so they quickly cut away. That's not super important, but I just found it funny. No shame on the camera operator. As someone who's been doing sports live streaming as a job, I've done pretty much the exact same thing many times. It happens. There was a really awkward moment where they muted a guy's mic for no reason. I don't know what that was about. Luckily, they seemed to get it figured out and proceeded mostly unawkwardly. There was no crazy Will Smith slap things that threw everybody off, so I was mostly pretty content with the wins. Although, I was pretty unhappy that Marty Supreme, my favorite movie of the year, got absolutely nothing. I feel like they could have at least given this best editing, and yeah, I'll say it, best actor. I'm not upset at all about Michael B. Jordan winning, which actually is something I did not expect at all. He did a fantastic job, and in addition to that, another fantastic job. He seems like a pretty cool guy in general and gave a nice speech. But Timmy was also really, really good in Marty. I don't really care what stupid things he has to say about the ballet and opera. It doesn't at all take away the fact that he gave an amazing performance. And I wish this movie got something at least. At least it's more than my second favorite movie of the year, The Smashing Machine, which got one nomination for makeup and hairstyling and did not win. Shoot. When it comes to Best Actress, I'm very happy with Jessie Buckley winning. She gave a really great performance in Hamnet and also just seems like a nice person. I think I would have preferred Renate Reinsve, but I could go either way, to be honest. They both did fantastic. Emma Stone was great, of course, as she usually is, but she's won enough Oscars at this point. I'm glad it went to someone else for a change. I know I've complained a bit about Marty Supreme getting no love, but I really am glad that One Battle got Best Picture. Even if it wasn't my personal favorite of the year, Paul Thomas Anderson deserves this award after all the years he hasn't won. One Battle not winning would be almost as dumb as if Oppenheimer didn't win in 2024. A director who has had this reward coming for his whole career makes the movie of the year, possibly even the decade, and finally wins Best Picture. That's pretty neat. What is with the Academy and only rewarding the greatest directors of all time way late in their career? They treat Martin Scorsese like the savior of cinema now, but where were they for the first 3 decades of him being a director? Anyways, I'm really happy that One Battle won, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If the Academy continues to not ignore the Safdie brothers' existence, maybe one of them or both of them will receive their dues eventually. Who knows? I wasn't super surprised about K-pop Demon Hunters winning animated feature and best song. I kind of expected it. Out of all the animated features nominated, I've only actually seen K-pop and Elio. I'm sorry, Arco and Little Amelie look really cool, and I've heard Zootopia 2 is actually pretty good, so I might watch that. So out of those two that I've seen, I would pick K-pop, I guess, even though it wasn't my personal favorite thing. My favorite song out of the original song category was Train Dreams. I've listened to that song a lot since watching that movie, and it definitely speaks to me the most, but let's be honest, it was never going to win. The cultural importance of I Lied to You and the scene of that movie being the greatest thing ever should probably have been enough to take the win, but oh well, Golden is fine. It's a catchy song. I just listened to it last night. I kind of found it boring, to be honest, except for the chorus, which is pretty catchy. It was kind of a big thing. Yeah, it makes sense. Speaking of I Lied to You and that scene from Sinners, the recreation of that scene for the music number was very cool. I thought they were going to go with Golden and have the voice actors of the K-pop Demon Hunters sing on stage. As fun as that would be, it's been done before, and this was much more interesting. If the theme of this year was anti-AI and celebrating humanity, the diversity of humanity sure was captured in that musical number. Great stuff. Just a few other thoughts before concluding the video. Train Dreams deserved better. I wish it won cinematography, but whatever. Frankenstein received a few nominations that weren't really deserved, in my opinion, but the things it won, makeup and hairstyling, production design, supporting actor, definitely were. And lastly, I didn't expect Amy Madigan to win supporting actress, but it's really cool that she did, and she totally deserved it. Weapons probably could have at least gotten some other nomination, although I'm not sure what it would get. There's some tough competition. Yeah, that's really all my thoughts on the Oscar wins. Nothing too crazy. Now, as fun as getting into the Oscars are, and as good as rewarding great art is, I want to say this. Whatever movies win or lose or get ignored by the Academy really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. What makes art great is that it's personal. You are the one who interprets whether a movie is good or not. Even though I wish Marty Supreme had won some things because I loved it, I will move on with my life because I don't really care that much. I only say this because I feel like it's easy to get caught up in all the buzz around this Oscars thing and forget the purpose of films in the first place. Forget what makes art great. That is all. Thank you for watching. Tell me in the comments what you thought of this year's Oscar ceremony. Toodles.